Welcome to this week's printing show. My name is Dafi Kühne. Again this week, tons of mail. Let's see. From Jim from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Dear Dafi, how do you do your weird torn structures on your posters? So for example this. Well, Jim, I'll show you. So to make these textures, I use chipboard and I just hand tear it. And that's super easy because it's fast and cheap. So we do this first. On the other poster, I used something different that I will show later. So I have this board, an MDF wood board, that together with my chipboard is exactly type high, 23.56. So I take my chipboard and I just tear out whatever shape I want to have. I can also use a cutter to pre-cut some shapes and then just tear the surface. Then I use some double-sided tape to mount this piece on my board of MDF. Make sure you use a lot of ink when you do this because the chipboard is soaking up quite some ink. Depending on the amount of impression I have and the amount of ink I use, I get super interesting results here. So chipboard is fast and super cheap, and it's good for small editions like these two posters over there. Here I printed something like 100 posters each. But on this poster here, I needed to find something that holds up for 1600 prints, and that's what we're going to look into right now. So I have a 3mm board of MDF here. Obviously the MDF, I cannot just tear it like this. So I will engrave a line with the laser cutter and then rip it along that line. So on my 3mm board of MDF, I'm cutting a line, but I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm just cutting it deep enough so I can tear it. So I cut this shape. These three lines are cut all through. You can see it how it pushes through. This line is just cut enough so I can tear it right now. And you can see how I can tear that MDF board. And here we have that nice hand-torn structure. So now we just replace our block of chipboard and put on our piece of MDF instead. And this now should be good for many, many prints. As I said, I printed 1,600 with this one. All right, there we have our torn edge. So with the MDF, I can basically print forever. You don't need a laser cutter to do this. You could use a saw or a cutter or whatever you find to cut the MDF. The good thing about the laser cutter is that you can cut any crazy shapes you want. So, Jim, do you like it? Well, that's it for today. If you've got any more questions, buy my book, True Print, or